example 1 tells us to assume that h of x has an inverse function. Not everything has an inverse function, so we're going to assume that ordinal it does have an inverse function. And whenever you have a function h of x, its inverse function is going to be established as h negative 1 of x. That's not h to the negative first power, that's just how you identify the inverse function. And the relationship between h of x and its inverse is if you have an ordered pair in h of x that is some x paired with some y, then the inverse function is going to have a point in it that is going to be y comma x. The ordered pairs that you get from the first function, the x and y get switched around in the second function. So the x of the first function is the y of the second function, the y of the first function is the x of the second function. That's all that inverse functions are. So in this case, it says to find h negative 4, h of negative 4, and they tell us that h negative 1 of negative 3 is equal to negative 4. Okay, so just to get an idea of what's going on here, what they're giving me is an ordered pair in the inverse function here, which is the x value of negative 3 leading to a y value of negative 4 in the inverse function. And what they're asking me to find here, h of negative 4, is in the original function, if x equals negative 4, what does y equal? That's what they're asking me to do. So they're giving me a point in ordered pair in the inverse function, x comma y for the inverse function is this. This y matches that x, so this x has to match that y. So the answer to the question, h of negative 4, is going to be negative 3.